Hello, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. I hope you're doing well today. Happy New Year to you, my friend. I am Jen with Timeline Tarot. This is your tarot card for the week of January 4th, 2026. It is a collective general reading. It is not individualized nor personalized to you. Messages may come through today that do not fully resonate, and if that happens, it's okay. It just means that one message is meant for someone else. So take what fits, how it fits, leave what doesn't, and be sure to check out your other placements. If you don't know what your other placements are, in the description box is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. Also in that description box is information on how you can become a time traveler. With all of that said, let's begin. Tapping into the Cancer Collective now for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. What is the tarot card of the week here for Cancer? Keep in mind, this is not what you don't see coming for the week ahead. The tarot card of the week reading is intended to help all of us move forward in our respective journeys. I also presume some of you are starting to feel a little bit better after we just had that super full moon in your sign a couple of days ago. Although that energy is still with us, so you might still be feeling emotionally heavy at this time. Just hang in there. Things will get better by the end of the week, okay? What is the tarot card of the week here for the Cancer Collective? One more shuffle. Thank you. Your tarot card of the week, the Page of Wands. What signs are preparing you to move in a new direction? If you see my readings before, I say the Page of Wands is like the Lewis and Clark kind of expedition of the 4 pages in tarot. This is like minor arcana card to the Fool card for me anyway. All right, bottom of the deck, you have 2 of Swords. What is being closed off or blocked out of your reality? So you're not moving forward in a particular direction. You have the opportunity here to have a new chapter in your life. What is that Page of Wands here for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements? Why is the Page of Wands their tarot card of the week? What signs are preparing you to move in a new direction? What is this all about here for Cancer? Let's get one more shuffle. Thank you. We have the Queen of Swords. We have the Empress. We have the Tower. And we have the Ace of Wands. There's the new. 8 of Swords, the World, and the 10 of Wands. Okay. It leaves the 5 of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, Strength card at the bottom of the deck. Don't be offended. These are collective general readings. Some of these messages have been difficult, and they've been very long this week for some reason. I think it's still that energy of the super full moon. So grab a cup of coffee or something to drink. So I think we're going to be here for a little bit. I think the sign here, and we're going to clarify, but your question here for the week that you should sit and ponder is what signs are preparing you to move into a new direction? I think the situation, environment, or connection you're currently in has become uncomfortable, almost comfortably numb, but uncomfortable nonetheless. I think you know something has to give here. I think you know something has to change. I think you're feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders right now. And it could be financially for some of you. For others of you, it could be an intense feeling of loneliness. It definitely could be emotional. You could feel like you're doing too much of the physical labor at work or at home. I just know that you're in a situation, environment, or connection that has become increasingly difficult for you to exist in. And so that's your sign. That's your sign that you're ready to move, you're ready to expand, you're ready to branch out, you're ready to relocate. You're ready to shake up some aspect of your life. There is change here required. However, you need to create the change. Now you can work in concert with Source to generate this tower, but the tower is Pluto energy. Pluto is the modern day ruler of Scorpio. Scorpio is represented in tarot by the Death card, which talks about an ending for a new beginning, talks about a transformation. I feel like you have the power here to change your life, but it requires action on your part. Tell me about that Queen of Swords. And you know this. If this message is resonating for you, you know that either the way you're living, and look, this could be anything. This could be in respect to your diet. I could be speaking to a Cancerian where you know that you could be eating better or taking better care of yourself. Right? Something's got to give. Or maybe there's a habit that you have to give up or something like that. So it doesn't always have to be these huge life changes. But maybe for some of you, that is what is required. But again, if this message is resonating for you, You know this already. Because for me, as a tarot reader, I see the queens existing presently. They show up presently based upon their past experiences. And so when we look at the Queen of Swords, I mean, all 4 queens are forged through fire, but the Queen of Swords probably forged through fire the hardest. Because if the queens are existing presently based upon their respective card suit, the Queen of Swords has it hardest, because the most difficult cards in the minor arcana portion of tarot are attributed to her suit. I just say her, there's a woman on the card, but it could be a masculine watching. 3 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords, 8 of Swords, which is here, 9 of Swords, 10 of Swords. So if this message is ringing true for you, you are a bit shut off from the world, or cold, or jaded. And I'm not knocking the Queen of Swords. I'm a Gemini. That's technically my queen, right? She oversees the air suit. But this is your energy. And I feel like whatever you're currently dealing with, the only way out is through. And you're the one who needs to birth in the Empress energy, or rebirth your life. But for you to get to the Ace of Wands, it requires you to ignite this fuse, if you will. Tell me about that Queen of Swords energy here for Cancer. One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have the Queen of Pentacles, the 3 of Wands, and the 2 of Swords, bottom of deck strength card. Yes, it requires you to change the way you spend your pentacle resources. Because again, the Queen of Pentacles is existing presently based upon her respective card suit. And so what is your pentacle resource here? Is it time? Is it love? Is it money? There's something here that needs to change in order for you to move forward, or you need to invest this pentacle resource of yours differently. Invest your time differently, invest your money differently, your loyalty, your talent, you know, whatever that pentacle resource is different for all of you, but your way forward is understanding and accepting that nothing will change if you don't change it. So, example, if you don't like where you currently live, you have the power to change it. You can start saving money to relocate, or just start exploring, right? Page of Wands, exploring other places to live. If you like where you live, but maybe your home is cluttered, or you've become a hoarder, or you just want to get a little bit more organized, then again, that pentacle resource is your time. How do you spend your time during the day? Can you allocate 20 minutes a day or an hour a day to just work on organizing your home? And even if it's like you want to learn a new skill, maybe tarot, maybe a musical instrument, but then how do you apply that talent and time? You need to be dedicated to do it, you know, every day or a couple of times a week. So the sign that's preparing you that it's time to move in a particular direction is this, feeling stuck, feeling trapped, right? In the 8 of Swords, this person is trapped, but if you look carefully at the card, you're actually not trapped. You're seeing yourself as trapped, you know, bounded up, and I can't see where I'm going. But that's just your mind kind of playing a trick on you, if you will. That's your fears and your doubts and your anxieties getting the better of you. You're actually not trapped at all. You're just seeing yourself that way. The Tower. How does Cancer... I heard ignite this Tower. I kind of feel, please don't be offended. I just give you the messages that I receive. I just saw someone sleeping on a couch, and I'm not calling you lazy, but I feel like you're sleeping on this Ace of Wands. Again, something new, creative, a love partnership, whatever this is for you, starting your own business. I feel like you're not investing a lot of pentacle resources into it. All right, tell me about the Tower, because I feel like you need to create this. Like nothing changes if nothing changes. One more shuffle here. Thank you. That Tower, the 3 of Cups, the Strength card, and the 7 of Cups, bottom of the deck, Ace of Pentacles. Start to imagine. I think imagination, believe it or not, is going to be your first a spark of inspiration. Remember, I kept hearing the word ignite. So yeah, your first spark of inspiration here. I mean, the Seven of Cups is the astrological placement of Neptune and Pisces. What are your dreams? What are your desires? Where do you want to live one day? How do you want to live one day? What do you want to do for a living? What kind of partner do you want to be with? What kind of community groups do you want to join? Think big. You don't have to isolate yourself to one thing, but where you're currently at or how you're currently functioning is not emotionally pleasing for you. And I'm not saying in every aspect of your life. Maybe you love your romantic partnership, but you hate your job, but it's not going to change until you start looking for another job, or maybe even thinking of ways on how you can create your own business. I just feel like I've tapped into a group of you where you lost sight of the big picture. Somewhere down the line, life kicked you in the teeth, and some of you just kind of stayed there and plateaued, still went on with other things in your life. Maybe you're still going to work. Maybe you're still tending to the kids, et cetera, et cetera. But that one area of your life where you kind of got kicked in the teeth, that kind of paused, that froze. And for others of you, there was a huge decline after that kick in the teeth. So how do you create this tower moment in your life? Start to dream again. Start to get excited and passionate. What do you want for your future? I think imagination, as silly as that sounds, that's the key. That's the Ace of Pentacles. Because once you get excited about blank again, learning something again, or again, where you want to live or how you want to live, whatever this is for you, that once that ignition there is kicked in, once that's turned on, it's go time. So your tower moment, my love, comes from just starting to dream again. Because some of you have a dream in your heart. You just stop believing in it at some point and made up these excuses or reasons why you couldn't proceed forward with it. I can't find the love partner. I'm too old, or I'm too young, or I'm too bald, or I'm too fat. You know what I mean? Like it's like you talked yourself out of a dream. Oh, I'd love to relocate, but I don't have the money. I don't have that. It's just talking yourself out of it instead of creating the plan to actually get there in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. There's something like that. I want to start my own business, but I don't have A, B, C, D. So it's like you're talking yourself out of the change. So I think step one here is just reignite the spark, if you will, is imagination. Start believing in your dreams again. Identify what are your dreams. Maybe they've changed, but you still need to identify them. Tell me about that Ace of Wands. One more shuffle. Thank you. The Hanged Man, the Star, and the Ace of Pentacles shows itself again. Bottom of deck, Three of Swords. I hate saying this to anyone who is heartbroken or dealing with loss or has not yet reconciled trauma, because I've been there and it's difficult. But you can do both. And this came through in one of your readings about 2 weeks ago, or within the last week or so. Healing is not linear. You can do both. You can grieve the loss of a friend and still take yourself out to the movies. You can lose your job and grieve the loss of your job while still looking for a new job. You can have someone very close to you pass away, and you can still take yourself out to eat or laugh with your friends. You can do both simultaneously. You're ruled by the moon. You're ruled by emotions. You are probably one of the most emotional signs out of the zodiac, and therefore you're represented by the King or Queen of Cups. If anyone can emotionally stabilize themselves and do two things at once, it's you. From an emotional perspective, it's you. So don't allow this, I hate to say that to someone, trap you in that fear. Oh, I can't do that. Or the last time I launched a business, it failed. Doesn't mean the next time you launch it, it won't be a success. So it's a very specific message. I almost feel like I'm giving a personal reading at this point. So if it's not yours, I apologize. But what do you want this next chapter to look like? And again, it could start small. It could be dietary. It could be organizing something in your home, your linen closet or your garage. But your key here is to, one, pause. What is one thing? And you got to make it realistic, okay? And I was talking to a friend recently, and I said how I would like to relocate, and I started looking at towns in a southern portion of the United States because I want to live in warmer climate and preferably near the water. And she made a comment about, oh, there's great homes in this neighborhood. And she sent me the link, and they're $1 million homes. Okay. You need to be grounded. You need to be realistic. Would I like to live in a mansion? Sure. Can I afford it? No. So you have to be realistic in that hangman energy when you're thinking about what would I really like to do. Again, just one thing. You need to be realistic about it. Are you going to end up dating a model? Probably not. Let's just be honest. Are you going to end up buying a $10 million home? Probably not. It doesn't mean you can't date someone attractive. It doesn't mean that you can't have a very nice, comfortable home. You know what I mean? Are you going to learn how to play the guitar and become the next, Eddie Van Halen or Eric Clapton? Probably not. You're not going to be the next Jimi Hendrix, but it doesn't mean that you can't learn the guitar anyway and be successful in your own right. So there's something here about staying grounded in that Ace of Pentacles. Make sure that it's tangible. And I'm not saying to set your sights low. I'm just saying if you set the bar too high, it's nice to set it at a level that it'll constantly keep you chasing after it, and you'll stay dedicated to accomplishing whatever this is. But it needs to be realistic. Otherwise, 10 years will go by and you'll never reach the goal. You're just going to give up on it. You know what I mean? So think about what this Ace of Wands is for you. Make sure it's realistic in nature. Make sure it's part of your wish fulfillment. And then get excited. And like I said, just acquire information in that Page of Wands. You don't have to do it all this week or this month. But if you can just get your creative juices going and start believing in the wonder of life again, I think you'll be well on your way to that Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. The World card, because this changes your life. This will change your life, Cancer, without a doubt. Tell me about that. One more shuffle. Thank you. Four of Cups, Page of Swords, and the Six of Cups. Bottom of the deck, Two of Pentacles. I think this changes your life. And I think that if you don't at least acknowledge this, then there's a possibility that Ace of Wands and Ace of Pentacles becomes a missed opportunity for you. I think the best thing that could help you right now is probably Page of Swords to the Six of Cups. Talk to someone you trust. Like a friend or your lover, and if you don't have anyone like that, then there are soulmates across all platforms. It doesn't just have to be someone in the physical. A soulmate could be you're called to look someone's video and they end up becoming a mentor to you. Someone who's experienced in that field or in what you want to do. And you can maybe watch their videos or learn something new. This could also be a therapist or a counselor for those of you where you really don't have anyone. So I do think for many of you, in order for this to not become a missed opportunity, you should identify at least one Ace of Wands here that you would like for your life. Make sure it's grounded and reasonable in nature. Start looking into it and researching it. Use your imagination. Don't confine yourself. Don't play small, but stay grounded. And talk to at least one other person about it. I feel like you have someone here that would be very supportive of you. And again, it could be a friend, it could be a colleague, it could be your lover, a family member. Tell me more about that Six of Cups. I feel like you have a confidant here that you could talk to about this, that would support you and encourage you. Who is that Six of Cups person? One more shuffle. Thank you. You have the Death card. They could be a Scorpio, the Hermit. They could be a Virgo, and the Queen of Wands could be an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. This is someone who, based upon their life experiences, again, queens exist in the present, depending on their past, they have become very wise and very bold. This is someone, regardless of their gender, they are very wise, very bold, and they have transformed their life in that Scorpio card. So I would seek out someone like that. Do you have someone right now in your life that you could go, wow, yeah, they had a really difficult time and they turned it around, or they changed their life, or someone that you admire or you look up to? Again, someone who's bold and courageous, could be a fire sign or have high fire placements. But even if not, and if this isn't anyone if you're watching this video and you're like, I wish I had someone like that, but I don't, plenty of people online, plenty of skilled individuals shamans. I mean, this could even be like you going to a priest, you going to a rabbi. It's someone that you can see as maybe being spiritual, or like I said, was bold and courageous at some point in their life. They took a chance, they transformed their life. You know, like if you want to open up a business, well, who do you know in your life that has opened up a business or several businesses? And you can talk to them about your fears or your doubts or your insecurities and get some information from them. You know, what were the pitfalls? If they could do something over again, what would they do differently? You know, I feel like this person would help you. If you want to be in a successful romantic partnership, look at your friends and family. Do you have one person who's truly in what you perceive to be a successful partnership? Talk to them. You know, if you want to enhance the relationship that you're in or bring the magic back, talk to one of your friends or family members. And again, if you don't have anyone, there are plenty of skilled and knowledgeable individuals online where you could connect with them or watch their videos to learn more. Let's get 3 final cards for you, and then we'll close it out with some advice. 3 final cards here for Cancer. So what signs are preparing you to move in a new direction? Whatever you're dealing with, it's uncomfortable. I just heard that. Who is that? Justin Timberlake? It's getting harder and harder to breathe. It's getting harder and harder to breathe. 3 final messages, 3 final cards, 1 more shuffle. Thank you. 6 of Pentacles, the Emperor, and the Page of Cups. Bottom of the deck, the Lovers. As with everything in life, the choice is yours. But if you just start giving a little Pentacle energy, if you take control of your life, which I have no doubt that you have the ability to do, and say, I'm going to start small, Page energy. I'm going to start small, but I'm going to start investing a little time to know this, learn this, you know, acquire this information, maybe just talk to someone about it. I think you see rapid results. King of Swords, 2 of Cups. Again, I think you have someone here who's very wise. They could be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I think you already have someone in your life, friend, family member, a lover, that you can turn to. And again, if not, it could be someone who's very skilled, whether that's a lawyer, a therapist, you know, an accountant, or a guru online. Let's get you 3 cards of advice. But yeah, you can do this. All you need to do is 6 of Pentacles, start giving just a little bit to this. And step 1, I think, is just give some time to be imaginative again. And maybe have an honest conversation with yourself that you're really not as trapped as you think you are. 3 cards of advice here for Cancer. 1 more shuffle. Thank you. Your advice, my love. Death card. I called that when I saw the Scorpio. When I saw the Tower card, we also have Scorpio here again. The Death card, the Knight of Swords, and the King of Cups, which is you in your highest vibration. And then we have the 10 of Wands. Again, this burden, something, and the 10 of Wands was here as well. Whatever this is to you, whether it's physical or financial or just emotional in nature, I feel like you and you alone can radically transform your life here. But you need to take the inspired action to do it. And again, that Knight of Swords for me is a huge communication card. So, you know, it's the 3rd decan of Capricorn. It's the 2nd decan of Aquarius. There's something here about you communicating to someone how trapped you feel. Capricorn energy. I always see the 8 of Swords, even though astrologically it's not. It's actually Gemini energy, but I usually see it as lower octave of the devil. So I would communicate to someone about what you're feeling, how trapped you feel. This is what I would like to do. I know that you did something similar, or you know people who did. Can you help me with this, or give me some ideas, or help me create a plan, or something like that? But this is all within your reach. You can do this. You can inspire yourself again. You could fall in love with life again. You could find one thing that you want to focus on, and you have one person here, like I said, whether you know them or not, that you can turn to. But this transformation in your life requires you. It requires you to take action. And I think Source is trying to tell you this week, you can do it. You are fully, fully capable of doing this. that is what I have for you, my love. That is your tarot card of the week reading. If you like that message, it resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. And don't forget to check out the description box to find out how you can become a time traveler. Until I read for you again, Cancer, be gentle with yourself. And as always, I'm sending you light, love, and peace.